Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Stephanie Lange. It's titled "Ugly Privilege is the New Pretty Privilege." Okay, we're not gonna sit here and lie, Stephanie. But all right, somebody told me to check this out. Probably somebody ugly, but I'm just playing. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's watch.
Pretty. A person, especially a woman or child, who is considered attractive without being truly beautiful. Where everywhere you're looking, you're seeing videos and pictures of perfect girlies shaking their perky booties and dancing with their teeny tiny waists until you turn around, but then there's a girl who's tweaked her face so much that she looks like a Bratz doll. And behind her is a girl who is so caked in makeup in what appears to be a thinly veiled attempt to capture the male gaze and gain access to the illustrious world of pretty privilege. Not appealing to these standards is almost an act of rebellion. Let's be real. It's no lie that being pretty comes with certain perks. When she's a child, the pretty girl is usually the parent's favorite. She's usually the popular girl in school, and thus she avoids the pitfalls of bullying and being left out of social situations. When the pretty girl grows up, she often finds it easy to get her dream job, attract an affluent partner. I mean, we've all seen the trophy wives on the arms of rich, powerful men. Heck, there's even evidence to suggest that attractive women are treated with more leniency in legal situations. That's pretty privilege. The pretty girl often finds it easy to coast through life because her good looks attract the attention of admirers and businesses who want to capitalize on her beauty. As the Kooks famously sang, also go on to say that the world chewed her up and spat her out. Because as you'll see in this video, pretty privilege is not all it's cracked up to be. And actually, in the long run, being perceived as ugly could actually be better than being pretty. I know you guys, it's hard to believe, but trust me, ugly privilege is a thing. Now, before anyone gets their knickers in a twist, which I know they will, what is ugly anyway? If you look it up in the Oxford Dictionary, it will tell you that the word ugly means someone who is unpleasant or repulsive, especially in appearance. And that may very well have been true back in the day. Fast forward to now, I don't think that definition fits very well anymore. Being ugly in 2024 basically refers to anyone who doesn't fit our unrealistic standards of beauty. You don't have a Barbie doll nose, you're ugly. You don't have artificially inflated lips to rival a baboon's butt, you're ugly. You don't fit the Instagram model aesthetic of Bug's Life waist, big bum, Bratz doll face, and blonde hair, you're ugly too. You don't have enough filler in your cheeks to rival a chipmunk.
I mean, sure, in some cases, but I don't feel like, for the most part, people go based on this.
I mean, is it really any wonder that so many of us see pictures of ourselves and think we look like shit? Or you look in the mirror and you just want to cry because you think you'll never look as pretty as the girls you see online and
Actually, I see people make it more fun. Well, I can only speak of on the black side of the social media. I don't know what they're doing over there, to be honest. But on the black side, they're starting to actually shame the girls who got too much surgery and the perfect nose and lips and the Kardashian look. They're starting to get shamed more and more on social media, and when they got that unrealistic waist, people talk a lot of shit about them. So I feel like things are changing, but I still wouldn't go as far as to say if you ugly that you gonna get praised and you're gonna have that privilege. But I'll hear her out.
Be worthy of love. Well, let me tell you this. The problem isn't actually your appearance. You are perfectly gorgeous. But here's what I'm starting to realize. Being considered ugly in this day and age is actually a damn good thing. Because actually, ugly privilege is the new pretty privilege. I mean, even Madison Beer is trying to downgrade her conventionally attractive good looks because even though being super pretty gained her a leg up in the industry, relying solely on your good looks is not going to keep you there for long. The internet is full of forums wondering how on earth Madison Beer hasn't been a bigger success in the music industry despite her good looks. But she has pretty privilege, they cry in confusion.
No, why is pretty privilege spelling that?
We just don't
But pretty women come a dime a dozen, though.
So
it's not enough.
Pretty that you literally resemble a walking, talking AI creation might be awesome for building a social media following. Being pretty does not automatically equal you success if all you have to offer is your beauty. Madison, despite having a lovely voice, is so conventionally attractive that despite not having the strongest song repertoire, people just expected that she would blow up, but she didn't. I mean, even Susan Boyle, who most would agree doesn't exactly fit today's beauty standards, sold 10 million copies of her debut album, whereas Madison only sold 200,000 of hers. Turns out being
really ridiculously good looking
isn't enough. As these Reddit users discuss, no one takes her seriously as a singer because she looks more like an Instagram model. Harsh, but probably true. Now, the interesting thing is Madison seems to realize that simply relying on pretty privilege hasn't worked out very well for her. And so she's trying to do what the internet at large suggests, which is be less pretty. We're starting to realize that the real power lies in being unique,
talent, girl. Go in the studio.
Madison has been making a point of wearing less makeup, going on camera with pimple cream on her face. Like, look at me, I'm a human just like you, I swear. Look, I have a pimple. And I'll even highlight it with the pimple crane in case you couldn't see it. And it's working. Look at the comments under the video. People are delighted at seeing Madison looking a little more human, a little less flawless. They like that. So often when there is a woman who society deems to be extra beautiful, she's renounced to just one thing: her looks. There's nothing else to her. She's just a pretty face. Eye candy. No one cares if she's intelligent, funny, creative, talented, kind. Who gives a shit? What does that matter when you're beautiful? Oh, and if you're pretty, you can't have an opinion. Even I get this sometimes because I have dyed blonde hair and I wear makeup. There's also the unfortunate truth that people tend to demean pretty women and treat them like they're stupid. They must be a bimbo because they're pretty. If you have good looks, you can't possibly have a brain too. The sad fact is, far from always sailing through life on the back of pretty privilege, more often than not, beautiful women are often objectified, dehumanized, and considered little more than an aesthetically pleasing hunk of flesh, which is probably why there is a new trend emerging of women who want to unbeauty themselves, which in this day and age sounds wild, right? Everywhere we look, left, right, and center, we are bombarded with women who are desperately trying to alter themselves to fit the beauty standards. Botox, filler, makeup, hair dye, fake butts, fake boobs, fake nails, fake teeth. Look at girls like Noah Cyrus. Here is a girl who went to great lengths to tweak her natural features to fit in with what was currently considered beautiful. And she achieved it. Big lips, perfect makeup, tiny waist, very Instagram model. But I guess looking like an Instagram model isn't all it's cracked up to be, because Noah did an abrupt about turn and now looks like this. Talk about putting your finger up to the beauty standards. I mean, you gotta give it to her for her confidence to stand out, go against the grain, and do whatever the hell she wants.
She's like
Dove Cameron, she's another one who went out of her way to tweak her face to aesthetic perfection, and once she achieved it, did a backflip and tweaked herself more, but not to look prettier as such, but to look interesting. You realize that you actually miss being an individual. You realize that people stop taking you seriously because you're just another pretty face. You don't...
I think she's missing a big... a big part. I agree with what she's saying. She's not saying anything wrong. Let me be clear. But these girls are changing themselves in a very unnatural manner. They're going to the doctor. So yes, after a while, people are getting tired of that same surgery look. So it's going back to what I already said. So I guess it's not just the black side of social media. The white side, they getting tired of that surgery look too. The big lips and the nose and that shit is getting played. People tired of seeing it. It's like, okay, all y'all starting to look the same. We tired of the same look, and now it's starting to look weird. Where's the natural at? You know? So I think as a society, people are they're kind of gravitating more towards the natural aesthetic, but I would not say it's the ugly one. I would argue it's the natural one.
Get as far as you hoped in your career because you're just another pretty girl. Because for all its surface privileges, apparently being pretty is not all it's cracked up to be. No, now we want edgy, unique, borderline ugly. I'm talking a nose larger than a Barbie's, small lips that wouldn't look out of place in the 1920s, bleached brows. When you realize that with our tweakments, we are all beginning to look the same, after a while it gets pretty bloody boring. I'm bored! So what's a girl gotta do to stand out in an era of Instagram clothes?
They look weird.
That's what. Turns out, if you think you're ugly, you already have the upper hand. If you think you're ugly compared to the current ideal of beauty, chances are you already look interesting. You already have something that sets you apart, makes you unique, a work of art. That in itself gives you the upper hand. It makes you powerful. There's a reason why these girls have turned their backs on trying to fit in. Now, they want to stand out. It turns out we're all kind of getting a little bit bored of the beauty standards. We're getting bored of altering ourselves to try and fit in, to try and achieve pretty privilege. Being ugly is now cool. The beauty standards are dying, and being considered ugly is no longer something to be ashamed of. It tells the world, I don't give a fuck what you think of me. I am not going to alter
Patrick, when he thought he was turning ugly too, he started freaking out. And SpongeBob like, wait, you were just encouraging me to be ugly. He's like, no, that's you. I was one of the pretty ones.
To your beauty
shows.
And that is why, as this magazine so eloquently puts it, the ugly beauty trend is growing in popularity. It's getting kind of fun because instead of using makeup like we did back in 2017, where we all tried to beautify ourselves to the point of looking like bloody caricatures, now women who are in the public eye, who by all accounts would rely on pretty privilege, are going out of their way to avoid it. Women like Doja Cat and Julia Fox, they're wearing makeup alright, but not to look prettier. They're painting their faces in abstract ways that still gain attention, but
I mean, these people are also artists and celebrities, so the standard is also very different from them as well. If you saw a bitch walking down the street looking like Doja Cat, you would be like, what the fuck is going on?
The male gaze. Because You can't talk about pretty privilege without also talking about the male gaze. Now, don't get me wrong, I love men, but I can also hardly acknowledge that altering yourself to make yourself more appealing to men is only going to end in disaster. We see it all the time nowadays, where women will find themselves heading down a slippery slope of changing just about everything about themselves in order to appeal to the male gaze. Because along with appealing to the male gaze comes other advantages. Men find you attractive, they're more likely to open doors for you, figuratively and literally. They might even end up marrying someone rich and famous and living the rest of their life as a trophy wife. But along with that movement comes a new movement. Not only do some women have zero interest in appealing to the male gaze, they actually abhor the idea of appealing to the male gaze. These women purposely strive to look less beautiful. They don't want to be pretty at all. They deliberately dress and style themselves in a way, as they say, to repel men.
Ladies, I'm gonna show you exactly how to repel men with makeup.
Because it turns out choosing to actively unparticipate in the beauty standards also comes with its own advantages. Lady Gaga, for example, she deliberately dressed in shocking and obscene outfits, painted her face in bizarre ways, and purposely made sure that she would not be seen as a sex symbol or just another pretty female singer. And it worked. She is now one of the most powerful and respected female artists in the world. Because as we've seen time and time again, being seen as the pretty bombshell rarely ends well. But isn't it telling that women should feel the need to wear shocking face paint, wear a meat suit, and dress as a literal monster in order to avoid falling victim to the pitfalls of pretty privilege? As a female myself, it does shit me a little. If you don't fit today's beauty standards, you're ugly. So you don't get the same privileges that beautiful women do. On the flip side, if you're a beautiful woman, you're objectified, taken advantage of, reduced to simply your face and body. There is a reason why Hollywood actresses, famous for their good looks, have all felt the need to tone down their beauty and take on a ugly role. First we had Margot Robbie playing Queen Elizabeth I, and then
I think it's very interesting though. She's using all of these celebrities. We aren't celebrities. So we're not gonna benefit from the same standards. Like, of course, they really have to make sure they stand out because the entertainment industry, the music industry is filled with beautiful people. So they have to do something to stand out, especially if they're not traditionally pretty. Lady Gaga, no shade, she's not, the traditional pretty person. So I feel like that definitely benefited her a lot. And she's an artist, so it's just different. And she's bringing up all of these like celebrities, which I get what she's saying. And again, I don't disagree, but it's like these are not principles that we can apply to our everyday life as regular people. Because again, you trying to do your makeup like Lady Gaga and shit, that's gonna make people be like, this bitch is a weirdo. If anything, it is gonna repel people, and I would argue that has the opposite effect on what you want.
and as Tanya in the movie,
like you want friends at least, even if you're not looking for a romantic partner, you at least want people around you, and people are not gonna
same name with a P.
really want to fuck with you if you're doing weird shit.
As gleefully wrote about in her beauty make under. By playing these quote-unquote ugly characters, Margot was elevated from playing the traditional sex kitten, dumb blonde trophy wife roles that typically blonde pretty actresses are typecast as, to being taken seriously as a talented actor. Then we had Charlize Theron with her portrayal of Eileen in the movie Monster. The director Patty Jenkins says that Charlize having to embody someone who is fat and ugly wasn't done on purpose, but just part of the role of transitioning into the character.
Yeah, she's talking about a lot of celebrities.
Won an Oscar for the film Monster for being so ugly.
Regardless, the fact that Charlize had the courage to take on an ugly role gained her a new respect in the industry, and instead of being just another pretty actress, she was now an Oscar-winning actress.
I'll leave her video down below. You guys can check it out if you're interested in, hearing the rest. I mean, I do still think it's an interesting topic to a certain degree, but I just don't feel like this applies to the average person. I don't feel like you, as a normal citizen, should try to uglify yourself in any type of way. Please don't look at things like this and be like, oh, okay, maybe I should try to look more ugly. That's not what you want to do. Don't do that. But at the same time, I don't think that, trying to get your lips done and trying to look perfect is a good idea either. Because as a society, in the real world and online and within celebrities and shit too, that perfect look is getting, outdated. And it's not even because it looks so perfect. It's because it looks crazy. I feel like years ago, maybe because we were not used to seeing it, maybe it initially looked good to some people, but I feel like now people are noticing the flaws and how crazy these like botched bodies are looking. And I just did a video talking about the worst BBLs or whatever. So we're now starting to be like, well, this looks stupid. These BBLs look dumb, or these fake titties, they look like bricks on your chest. That looks stupid. The filler in your lips, like you got bubble lips, that look dumb. You got this Michael Jackson nose, that's ugly. So I think people are just noticing how flawed that fake surgery look is. So I would highly advise against doing that. But at the same time, I would not say that ugly privilege is a real thing in the real world and that you should try to look uglier. That's just my opinion. So I don't agree with that narrative, so to speak. All of these examples she's using, she's referring to artists and influencers who are trying to stand out to appear unique because they have to in that space, because beauty isn't getting them far. As an everyday person, you being attractive, that's going to get you far. So you're going to benefit from that, and that just is what it is. But in the industry, pretty privilege is just not enough, because yes, if you are trying to be a singer, you need more than that. You need talent. People need to actually like listening to your music. They're not looking at you when they're listening to your goddamn music. So you looking good isn't going to get you far. Being an actress, like you having that same pretty look, that gets boring to these directors and whatnot. They want people who look interesting, who's going to bring something different to their movies and whatnot. So that is completely something separate. So I think it's interesting that she's trying to give advice to the average everyday person while using all of these examples of celebrities and like the industry. That's not our life. Anyway, those are just my thoughts, but still interesting overall. And like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with what she was saying about pretty privilege and whatnot, but I just do not think you should try to look uglier. I don't think you should do that. But do what you want. It's my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.